What's up, guys? This is the Osmo.com night shift talking baseball for Tuesday, May 15th. This is your host, Jay Kari. You see me on the MLB strategy video and the live stream before lock. MLB strategy video with Josh and live stream with Chris Tuesday, Thursday. We're going to go through and talk about this 15-game slate. As you guys always hear me talk about on here and hear Josh talk about, get to Osmo.com, get your premium membership. With that, you get access to some really good content, rankings from Osmo himself, ownership projections from Osmo based on what he sees around the industry and how lineups will sort of come together. So you can get a feel for the chalky lineup construction, or maybe see some players that you're high on that might be 5% owned. So it's really helpful to me. It will be helpful to you when you sign up for premium. And then you also get videos from Osmo himself. Chris does a really good job at interviewing him and sort of picking his brain on some strategy tips and sort of the way that he thinks of things. So again, it helps me a lot. So I've been playing DFS for a long time and always looking to learn new stuff. So I'm glad I'm a premium member, and I'm sure you will be too. All right, let's get into this slate. We've got 14 games. That one early game, Rockies Padres, is not on the slate, and there are a bunch of weather concerns here on the East Coast, so I'll try to mention those, and then we'll talk about them tomorrow morning and on the live stream when we've got a better idea of whether or not these games are actually going to play or how they're going to play. Let's go with Yankees and Nationals. I almost said Capitals. I'm still in hockey mode right now. Yankees and Nationals. We've got Masahiro Tanaka for 8,400 against Gio Gonzalez for 8,700. That is DraftKings pricing. I love Tanaka as a pitcher, but this is about as bad of a matchup as you can get for a righty against the Nationals. 4.2 run total isn't that. It doesn't really deter me that much, but these guys don't strike out that much. Matt Adams has been raking. Bryce Harper is Bryce Harper. I could see going to Tanaka. It is a nice price for him, but as of now, I'm not super excited about it. The Washington Bats, on the other hand, I'm also not very excited about. I do like Harper for 5,300. Adams' price is down to 4,400 from up near 5K last week. So I like those two lefties, but not a ton to like in terms of that matchup. Gio Gonzalez, I rarely play him, but this is sort of similar to Tanaka in that the Yankees are not a good matchup for lefty pitchers, so I'll be off Gio Gonzalez for 8,700. The Yankees bats, I could see going to a stack with the big guys with Judge, Stanton, and Sanchez, but I'm not really looking to play a ton of Yankees. I'm not looking to full stack. Those three guys all make sense as one-offs or maybe sort of mini stacks, but I'm not going all in on them. Let's go to Philadelphia and Baltimore. We've got Nick Pivetta going versus Andrew Cashner. Pivetta, and this one does have some weather concerns. I'm seeing rain in Baltimore, East Coast game, so that will be a theme. Pivetta not missing as many bats as he was earlier in the season in the last two starts. But this matchup against the Orioles is one of the best on the night. Orioles have a 24% K rate against righties this year. They're bottom 5 in walk percentage, bottom 5 in hard hit percentage. It's just a great match for Pivetta, who has been awesome against righties. And the Orioles do have a bunch of righties, probably 5 or 6 of them in the lineup for them against Pivetta. So I do like Pivetta a ton for 7,200. I'm just hoping this one stays dry. Cashner on the other side, not looking to really full stack against him, and that's more to do with the Phillies. I mean, Cashner's fine to stack against pretty much any start. I do like Hoskins and Santana and Cesar Hernandez, but outside of that, I'm not super crazy about a Philly stack as of now. Let's go to White Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Reynaldo Lopez versus Trevor Williams. This one has weather concerns as well. Not as bad as what I'm seeing in Baltimore right now, but that could obviously change by the time you're listening to this. Reynaldo Lopez and Williams, neither guys that I'm going to look to play. Weather concerns just sort of hammer that home for me. The White Sox bats, I mean, I could see going to Delmonico against Trevor Williams. I could see going to Polanco against Reynaldo Lopez, maybe Josh Bell and Corey Dickerson, but this one is not very interesting to me at all. I'd be more on a Pirates stack, but just sort of an ugly game for DFS for me, so I'm just going to move on. We'll talk about that one tomorrow morning. Cleveland and Detroit, we've got Josh Tomlin going up against Francisco Liriano. The Indians probably going to be popular here, as the Tigers may be if they've got a better looking lineup. Tomlin's just been absolutely awful this year. 46% hard contact against lefties, under 10% Ks, 637 xFIP overall. I wish the Tigers had some better bats to target, specifically from the left side. You can make a case for Victor Martinez for 3,100. If Castellanos is back in the lineup, I like him, but he's from the right side. I want to stack up the Tigers. I just hope we see a better lineup because I think Tomlin is pretty awful. So if you can find a bunch of Tigers that you like, I'd say go ahead and stack them up. Or if you got a bunch of lineups to play with. Liriano, he's been okay. Nothing special for him either. I think you can target some righties. And the Indians do have the two switch hitters that I love, Lindor and Jose Ramirez. Then they've got Encarnacion, Yan Gomes I like a bunch here for 3,600. And then Michael Brantley from the left side. I don't mind going up against Liriano lefty, especially if you're stacking them up. So the Indians should be popular. Detroit, if they can field a formidable lineup, they will probably be popular as well. Toronto and New York Mets. We've got Jaime Garcia versus Noah Syndergaard. This one's got weather concerns. Really, the only thing I love in this game that I want to talk about is Noah Syndergaard. Like, if there's weather concerns for 10-8, it's hard to pay for him, but there's a ton of righties. The Blue Jays do strike out a bunch. And then he's got elite swing and miss stuff for only 10-8. So I really want to play Syndergaard here. The run total is down to 3.2 for the Blue Jays. The bats in this game, I'm not really on. I could see going to Cespedes or Wilmer Flores, maybe Asdrubal Cabrera, but I really don't like the bats. Just hoping this one stays dry for Syndergaard's sake. Oakland and Boston, Daniel Megnan versus Eduardo Rodriguez. This is a spot for Megnan where he should get rocked. The Red Sox are the best team in the MLB against righties by most statistics that you look at on a team level. Megnan, on the other hand, 40% hard contact against righties, 164 whip against them. It just seems like Boston should light him up. They've been killing average to below average righties all year, and I think that continues here. 5.5 run total. Another game that has weather concerns, so you'll have to keep an eye on this, as you will with all the other East Coast games. Erod, I have some interest in him if he's going to be low owned. That's the problem, and the weather concerns will probably make him low owned. He's 9,200, not a great price, a little bit overpriced, but I'm sure that'll keep people off of him. It's not a perfect matchup. A lot of right-handed A's bats like Chapman and Lowry and Davis that I'm a little bit scared of, but I do like Erod a little bit here. Of course, all of this is weather pending. Dodgers and Marlins. We've got Alex Wood going up against Wei Yin Chen. Wood is getting a ton of chases. He got a 37% O-swing percentage this year, 11.7% swinging strike rate. I do like him a bunch here against the Marlins. I'm a little bit worried about the price, but 10K is not terrible on this slate. I'd rather go with Syndergaard. I think Syndergaard's got a little bit more upside, but Wood's not a bad consolation if that game looks like it's not going to go. I'm not targeting any Marlins bats at this point. Against Wei Yin Chen, I do want to target bats against him. He's given up 6 home runs in 3 starts. And Last start was a little bit different because he was going up against the Cubs in Wrigley in that wind game. Just like predictably was going to get rocked because he's a fly ball pitcher. He's got home run problems, and then you get the stadium that wind affects the most in the MLB, Wrigley Field, and it's just a recipe for disaster there for Chen. So I'm not holding that one against him too much, but I still do like Dodgers hitters here. Justin Turner, if he's back in the lineup, I love. Matt Kemp has been smoking lefties this year. Chris Taylor, Yasmani Grandal. I would even go lefty-lefty with Cody Bellinger down in the 6th hole if that's where he's going to be. So I'm really on this Dodgers stack, but it's not because I think Chen is awful. Based on that last start, I just think that all these guys individually are really nice plays. Cubs, Braves. Got Yu Darvish versus Mike Fultonevich. I'm not falling for the Darvish price. He's 7,800 on DraftKings. The Braves are one of the best offenses in the league, and there aren't that many strikeouts, and Darvish hasn't been all that impressive as far as missing bats goes this year. If you want to play some Braves against him, I don't mind Albies or Freeman, but they're both really expensive. Fulte, I'm not playing against the Cubs. 4.5 run total. I don't see the big strikeout upside here. This game, not all that crazy about. I do like Rizzo and Schwarber as one-offs, but those guys aren't super cheap either. Schwarber 4,300, Rizzo 4,900. So just some expensive one-offs in this game is about all for me. Cardinals, Twins. We've got Flaherty going up against Jose Barrios. Flaherty, combine the two. Flaherty, I'm not playing him here. He's got some really alarming batted ball numbers this year, and I'll talk about that on the strategy video tomorrow morning. Lefties are hitting him way too hard for me to play. Twins they're gonna probably roll out 7 or 8 lefties, and that's gonna be bad news for Flaherty. So I love Rosario, Escobar, Max Kepler, even Mauer, and Morrison. And then Dozier is from the right side, but if you're stacking up the Twins, it's hard not to play Dozier. The Twins are top 5 in the league in hard hit percentage and ISO against righties this year. So the Twins are one of my favorite stacks of the night. And then Jose Barrios on the other side has had a rough stretch over his last 4. He's given up at least 4 earned runs in all of them. In all of his last 4 starts, I should say. He's been up and down as far as plate discipline stuff goes, but he seems healthy, and I'm interested in him at this price, 7,600. He's not getting hit very hard, 25% hard contact this year, which is a really awesome number for a starting pitcher, so that's really encouraging. Even if the strikeouts aren't there, you don't need him to strike out 10 to have a good start at 7,600. Let's go to Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I don't know who's starting for Tampa Bay. I'm seeing Anthony Banda, who I don't know really anything about, but he is a lefty, and if Soler's facing a lefty, I do like him a bunch. Ian Kennedy on the other side, I don't really have interest in him. He's 6,100. If he's going to be chalk, then I'd rather play some Rays bats against him. Kennedy is not the type of pitcher I see myself playing in this matchup. Josh may have other ideas depending on what the run total looks like, so this may be an interesting game tomorrow morning. Brewers and Diamondbacks. Yuli Chacin versus Zach Greinke. Chacin, I want to target lefties against him, so David Peralta, Daniel Descalso. Goldschmidt's been ice cold, but I don't mind him if you're stacking, because I do like 1, 2, and 4. So Peralta, Descalso, and Pollock. Going to be hard to leave Goldschmidt out for 4,300 if you're stacking against Chacin, even if he's been bad. Greinke on the other side is 11.8 on DraftKings. I do like him here, and it's mostly because of the 2K discount you get on him compared to Garrett Cole. He can strike out all these righties for Milwaukee. I'm never crazy about going up against Christian Yelich and Travis Shaw, but I may make an exception here for Greinke. 11-8. Obviously a very good pitcher. He's pitched well lately. He's missing bats. He sort of just checks all the boxes that I want to see in a starting pitcher. It's not a fantastic price for him, but compared to Cole, I'd much rather pay 11-8 for Greinke than Cole in what I think is the worst matchup. Speaking of Cole, let's talk about Astros and Angels. So Garrett Cole is $13,900 in what I think is one of the worst matchups in baseball for any pitcher. There are a lot of righties. He could strike out some guys here for sure. If he's on, he could strike out double-digit guys, and it wouldn't shock me. But for 13-9, unless he just completely goes nuts, he's not really going to kill you. 13-9 is a very, very, very tough price for me to pay for any pitcher. Cole has been one of the best pitchers in all of the MLB this year, but I think I'm fading him unless something really, really changes between now and lock on Tuesday night. With that being said, not targeting Angels bats. Barria on the other side, Jaime Barria. I don't have any interest in him against the Astros, who are going to put the ball in play against him. Barria is more of a control guy. He's going to give up contact. I'm not crazy about an Astros stack because you're not really getting a discount on Springer, Altuve, and Correa. But, I mean, you can make a case for some of these Astros. They're just way down my list as of now. Rangers, Mariners, Mike Minor versus Mike Leake. The two Mikes. Minor is not the biggest gas can in the world, like I think Mike Leake is at this point in his career. But against righties, he has been hit pretty hard, and that makes me very nervous against this Mariners team. So I'm not on Minor. I do like mainly 4 Mariners bats, and it's Segura. I love Haniger. I love Cruz, and then Ryan Healy for $4,000. You can convince me to play Zunino for $3,500, but that would be only in a stack. I'm not the biggest Mike Zunino guy, but he can definitely hit for power. So Seattle stack, one of my favorites on the night. I wonder how owned it's going to be because it's not a great hitter's park. It's one of the late games. Minor, not the worst pitcher in the world, but against righties, he does give up a lot of hard hits. Leake, on the other side, is, I mean, from the stuff I look at, he's one of the worst pitchers in the MLB and one of the best to target against for DFS. You can target him with either hand. He's getting lit up by both sides, not striking guys out. This is like the Tigers situation where I wish there were a bunch of Rangers I really wanted to play. You can play Mazzara and Beltre and Gallo. Those are all guys I like. Even Odor for $2,900. I don't mind that. I think Leake is really, really awful, and I want to play some guys, especially Gallo. He'll be owned for sure. Beltre should get a ton of ownership for $3,400. Like, that seems like a pretty good cash play. He's going to put the ball in play every time. I'd be shocked if for some reason he struck out. Reds and Giants. We've got Tyler Mahle, my boy, versus Ty Black. This game is pretty awful for DFS. It's 14-game slate. 2 teams we're not crazy about, the Reds and the Giants. 2 pitchers we're not crazy about, although I do like Mahle as a pitcher. For $9K, it's tough for me. I don't know how I'd end up on him. It's a good park for pitching. Like, I can't say I like any hitters here outside of a Suarez one-off for $4,400. Duvall batting 6th is a lot less appealing than when he was in the top 4. Man, this game, I'm boring myself just talking about it. So that's going to do it for the 14-game slate. Sign up for Osmo.com Premium, and you will get a bunch of extra analysis. We've got free stuff going on all day with the live stream and the MLB strategy video, so check us out on there. Hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast and hope it got you started for your research on Tuesday.